Greeting interwebs, this is Jack K, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Pokemon Colosseum. In the last episode, we entered the Paniac Stadium and won. And today, after putting it on standby and making all these detours for so long, I say it's about time to check out Mount Battle and see what's up with the sensor gang hanging around the area. Before we really get into that, though, and my commentary starts focusing on the game, I want to take some time to address some issues that have been up with Pokemon Colosseum, because if you've been watching this as it's been uploaded, there is quite a bit of a hiatus between the last and the current episode of Pokemon Colosseum, and I kind of feel that I have the responsibility to bring you all up to speed of why that is and how it's going to affect future videos. As I announced before I head out, it was only going to be like a couple weeks, but I never did get into a schedule that worked for me, and I really wanted to have co-commentary for this section of Mount Battle. This is the closest thing that we have to a dungeon before the next boss. However, between my busy schedule and having to work around other people's schedules, I never did get that co-commentary. But the major reason I had this hiatus in the first place was because I was starting up work at the time and had a family trip going along, like I explained before. And the whole purpose of the hiatus was to give me enough of a bulk so I could upload on a schedule that was fair for you guys, but not stressful on me to try to manage this whole hobby of taking the time to record a video and then sit down and edit it, look it over, and then render it and upload it for YouTube, not to mention annotations. Once you get into it, I don't say that very basic Let's Playing is hard, but it can and is fairly time consuming. And as much of a job that I want this to be, this has to be a hobby first and foremost. An actual job I have has to take priority. The one thing that's sort of good and bad news is that job I was on was only for a set period of time, and I've completed that set period of time. So between now and when I get my next job, my schedule should be a lot more open, which in theory means more time to record and actually get the bulk, so I can actually upload these on schedules without taking another unnecessarily long hiatus. I can't promise that, because for some reason I'm just feeling at a particular stage with the recordings that I don't always have motivation and kind of rather do something more fun. But it's not at the point that I don't want to record and make these videos at all. It's just, I guess I've gotten a bit more lazy, you could say. I've gotten into the habit of coming home from work and it being the evening and having to get up pretty early in the morning for the next day of work and going, I could record, but I'm too tired. I'm just gonna go on YouTube and watch all the other people that I'm subscribed to. And other times there's other things like, oh, I want to play Fire Album, or I want to do this, do that. I know it's all just excuses, but I know I wouldn't imagine it being like this until I had the first 20-hour a week and then 30-hour a week job. And I'd be willing to bet that you don't know how it feels until you're in that situation as well. I can't say for sure. As far as I know, you could be working a full-time job and still be able to put double the effort into the quality of your Let's Playing videos than I am into this one. I don't know. I can only assume. But that is going to be something I have to get used to, because I know I'm going to have to take on a job someday. And I don't think my interest in LPing will die out by then. So it's going to have to be a bit of a juggle, figure out how much I really want to record and how much I want to just take time playing the game for myself. But speaking of work, look whose efforts in training has finally paid off. Narati is finally evolving! How a fish evolves into an octopus The world may never know. But even better news, guys. Agwazuka is pretty much the signature move of this Pokemon. And I can't think of a Pokemon that learns it naturally. Like, 3 whole generations, soon to be 4, since this Pokemon was first introduced. I'm pretty sure they've introduced the move to at least one other Pokemon. But again, it's not coming off the top of my head. Agwazuka is kind of interesting, because it's far from the most powerful water type move in the world. But it does have the ability to lower accuracy. Though it tends not to be very good because it's actually a bit inaccurate itself. Which is where the whole point of having lock-on comes in. I'm going to assume in a situation I really need the move to hit, I can use lock-on first and then use Agwazuka. And yet, the move is accurate enough that if I just want to finish a job, I should be able to have the Pokemon use the move without using lock-on. I do gotta say some things about videos that will be coming out in the future before I converge completely back to what I would normally talk about in these sorts of videos. But I do have to address the issue of some technical problems that might be occurring in a couple episodes in the future. The next episode should be fine, and I might even get lucky enough to have co-commentary for it. The next 2 episodes after that, well, let's just say while I was overlooking the videos, and right before I was gonna render the final versions, I realized that the commentary files were not in the video. They were recorded, but they were not in the video. And considering the way that my post-commentary is recorded, it would be a bit of a butt to put all those commentary files back in. It's not as simple as just dragging the audio files on, because they were all over the place. Like, some of the later files were actually earlier on, and yeah, it's possible, but it would take up a lot of time. So I might just use the portable files that I use for overlooking. I'm a little worried that the quality's going to be a bit worse. So since this is episode 20, that would be like 22 and 23 that I'm concerned would be a bit lower of quality than most of my videos. So sorry about the issues of past and future, but at least we got the present that will be decent. I know I could have handled things with this series better, but it is what it is, and I'm not going to mope anymore about the past and just improve it in the future. On topics slightly more related to the gameplay you're currently watching, I do have to forewarn, I do say Vileplume's name as Skiploom a couple times. Some that I notice and some that I don't while doing the commentary. It gets a bit ridiculous. I'm highly considering changing Vileplume's nickname just so it's something more related to Jumpluff. But I don't want to go with Vilepluff because something doesn't sound right about that. Anyways, right here I'm going into my inventory because my key for getting Nerati up to speed with the rest of the party involves swapping between the experience share and the martial brace. The martial brace to get a stats boost quicker than the other party members to make up for being under level, and the experience share so it gets the experience even when it's not in the battle itself. If I get the feeling that I gotta put Nerati in the back, I'll probably give Nerati the experience share. If I feel Nerati's gonna do most of the fighting, I'll give it the martial brace. It seems like the most ideal way to get Nerati up to speed. Even though Nerati's evolved, she's still about 4 plus 3 levels. She's about 7 levels below the rest of the party, which, if it was only 1 or 2 levels of a difference, I wouldn't care, but that's a significant difference between the levels of my party for someone like me. Not really much else to do, cause probably would be more fun to have this co-commentary and getting into conversations with other people, but I already talked about why that's not an option for this episode. Maybe if I'm lucky and you're lucky, we can get something for the next one, because I promise you that getting up to Vader to save him will take more than one video. So we'll just have to see how the dice rolls. As I'm recording this, I still got about a week before I'm going up to upload again. I know that sounds scary, considering this is going to be the first video that goes up after my hiatus. However, I'm not sure if I made it clear, but I actually started working on other videos first, due to the fact that I originally wanted to have cool commentary for this. So I currently have like 2 videos done, probably 3. It's just Failplume sucking up the life from a Graveler. I'm a little worried I'm repeating myself, but I think I am doing a good job with that. No! Please! Broom! I totally didn't make a broom sound because his name sounded like Ryder. Okay, I did. It's right then, or Readin. Whatever. So yes, I went back to the Pokemon Center to heal up. With Narai at this low level, any excuse I can get to walk all the way back to heal is a good excuse by me. Oh, this is going to be an interesting turning point in the video. I have this return TM, so let's see if I want to teach it to anyone. This is a toughie. Code Red doesn't really have a diverse set of moves, but I'm not sure if there's really a move I want to get rid of. Smokescreen, I kind of think that having a lowering accuracy move might come in handy. Sunny Day, it's nice to have a move that raises the ability of fire type moves. What does Yang have on her moveset? That's looking pretty nice so far. I think I'm ultimately gonna go with teaching it to Code Red and getting rid of Sunny Day. Might be better to get rid of Smokescreen, but I just felt that Smokescreen had a little bit more of a use. Especially when snaking Pokemon away from trainers. Because you could just keep using Smokescreen and the Shadow Rush wouldn't hit you and wouldn't take recoil damage. You wouldn't have to worry about accidentally KOing yourself. There's so many possibilities of Smokescreen. And Sunny Day just didn't seem that great. Oh, wait a minute. I guess I did delete Smokescreen. I guess that goes to show you how much I actually know myself. And the answer? None at all. Hopefully I don't regret that decision. But thinking about Failplume now, if we can get Solar Beam on Failplume, having that Sunny Day might not be so bad. Yeah, cause Sunny Day would improve Code Red's fire moves, and would also reduce the damage it took from water, which is its weakness. Oh, well, you know, I can't swap out to my grass type. I guess I'm just gonna have to take this out until I can take out the problem. And that Trap Pinch is the problem. Thankfully, Yang's Detect will reduce the amount of damage I take until I can get the Skiploom out into the field, Failplume, and actually do things with it. Thus, see, it's just like that. I always say Skiploom when I mean to say Failplume, and I never correct myself. I do that a lot in the future. You know, it's an interesting perspective to actually know what's going to be happening in the future, because you're recording the post-commentary for an earlier episode before. It's almost like I'm psychic. Although I can't be that lucky. Oh yeah, there's another Trap Pinch on the field. It's completely substituted the one that I just took out, so I have no way to get Failplume onto here to actually do the one thing Failplume would not fail at. Oh, the irony. Isn't it just beautiful? I find it pretty ugly, but I'm sure if you were the one who had the 2 Trap Pinches, you would have a good old time. Now finally, let's get frickin' Failplume, and no, don't send out Code Red. What was I thinking? maybe I was thinking that the trap pitch was gonna go down anyway, so... Oh, maybe I was canceling out the sandstorm as well. But the trap pitch goes down, and Skip Bloom wouldn't really do much good against this Lily anyways. Lily, have I ever talked about Lily and how it's an interesting Pokemon? When it first came out, the 3rd generation, I could never figure out what its weaknesses were. It's one of those Pokemon that has such an odd type combination that it takes even seasoned Pokemon trainers a while to actually catch on to what it's weak against. To show how much they've improved, I will tell you, I am next certain that Lileep is weak to the following. It's certainly weak to fighting type. And it could be weak to steel type. Oh yeah, move arrangement. I am so glad I am finally doing that. There's probably more weaknesses to Lileep than that, but they're not coming to mind. And as long as I have a fighting type move, I won't have to worry about not knowing what Lileep is weak to. Anyways, we're walking back to heal instead of cutting weight, so that means that the end of the episode is about here. So I will see you all in the next one, where we will complete the rest of the trainers on this first floor, and hopefully make it up to where Vader is being held. I mean Vander. This has been Jacket K, and I'll see you all then. Do 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 do. I gain the Pokemon I want out to the field to take care of all the ground types. Oh boy, another tinge.